Joe and Diane Peichel were a New York power couple.
So that's where our pins, so we want our gaps to be there.
They seem to have it all.
Just so we can
But
see
their lavish lifestyle masked a tale of perversion and madness.
What? Perverts.
New York City, the capital of money, fashion, glamour, and success. People come from all over the world to try to make it in New York. Some dream of making it big on Wall Street. Others to be accepted by the in crowds, the artists, the socialites, the rich and powerful. Joe Peichel, a kid from Massachusetts, dreamed of both. Joe grew up in the Polish working-class neighborhood of Ware. His father, a weaver,
get our last clip in,
and had a violent temper. He left scars on Joe, not all of them emotional.
He would later tell people that he had a very abused childhood, that his father was an alcoholic, and beat him so severely that on one occasion broke his jaw.
Despite the abuse, he excelled in school, learning at an early age to conceal his most intimate feelings.
High school he did fairly well. He was on the football team, the league club, a very good student, went to a 5-year program at Northeastern University, where he graduated with high distinction, which is equivalent to magna cum laude.
At Northeastern University, Joe met and married Sandy Jarvinen, a sweet and submissive girl. Joe was dominant, confident, and in Sandy's eyes, charismatic. In 1960, the couple moved to New York City, and Joe went to work as a money manager on Wall Street.
Don't forget to do that.
It was the beginning of the 60s stock boom. Joe was in the right place at the right time. The hours were brutal and the pressure intense, but his hard work paid off. By the end of the decade, he was a multi-millionaire. He often traveled to Europe by Concorde to check out stocks firsthand, and was celebrated in the financial press for his business savvy.
He was a self-made man, a strong-willed man, a man who trusted and kept his own counsel above all others.
He was a wheeler dealer in stocks in the stock market, noted for his very aggressive trading.
But what made for success in business caused pain at home. Joe bullied and abused and often drank to excess.
One occasion he hit her on the head with a statue.
Motherfucker.
She fell down a flight of steps unconscious.
Oh, nice.
Woke up, got herself together to get into a car, and then just fled.
By the early 70s, Joe was caught in a dangerous downward spiral. He and Sandy divorced. He was overextended financially, and fellow brokers complained that he was often drunk and disorderly at the office. One day, when a limousine driver came to pick up Joe, he accused the man of having an affair with Sandy. When the driver denied
God damn it.
Joe pulled out a gun and pistol whipped him.
There's no question that Joe Peichel had an extremely volatile temper. The cab driver incident is just one of many in the course of his life where this guy would snap and go ballistic at anybody and everything that got in his way.
With his divorce from Sandy, his financial woes, and his drinking problem, Joe clearly needed help. In April of 1976, he entered Alcoholics Anonymous near his apartment in the West Village.
I'm very familiar with the Perry Street AA. I went there myself every day for a couple of years. At Perry Street, Joe found himself surrounded by artists, writers, and intellectuals. One of them was a beautiful yet troubled young writer named Diane Whitmore.
Diane grew up in a wealthy Indiana family. She was an only child who dreamed of life in the big city, of writing, art, and lavish parties.
She was just a fascinating woman. She was hilariously funny. She was gracious. She was interesting and intelligent.
In 1965, Diane graduated from Mount Holyoke, an exclusive women's college.
So you want to get it in the right spot.
Famous Greenwich Village with two ambitions: to become a writer and to get rich.
She was looking for, a post-college, post-Midwest experience that was full of glamour, edge, poetry, bohemianism, a hint of violence, which is something that always attracted her. And she was quite frank about that.
She spent the next 10 years experimenting with drugs and a series of volatile relationships.
One of the things that drew Diane to men who were not good for her was that she wanted to do anything to change the script of the nice girl getting married, having children, living happily.
There we go.
But after a decade of trying to find herself,
Oh, I bumbled through that.
Diane was divorced, drug dependent, and a recovering alcoholic. She desperately needed a change in her life. She hoped to find that change in AA, and she did. She met Joe.
He had a dark side, clearly,
No,
and
down.
she was attracted to the dark side. At the same time, she wanted to, at that point, be a rich man's wife. And she got both in this one package, and it was a very incendiary package.
She was gorgeous, she was funny, she was sexy, she was talented. He was not a particularly handsome man. She probably knocked his socks off. And I also think, sadly, that he had the eyes of a predator, that he sensed that he could get her.
Just a few months into their relationship, Diane became pregnant. 2 months later, on July 14th, 1978, Diane and Joe were married.
When Joe and Diane walked down the aisle, they thought they were walking into a fresh, new beginning. But their marriage would turn out to be a big mistake. A deadly mistake.
When we return, Diane discovers her husband's secret life.
To have gold coins in my possession.
So, this is the fun part.
Insurance, you might say, against the paper dollar.
I felt comfortable when I got involved with gold and something I could physically touch, that I could hold. No one could take it away from me.
I would recommend U.S. Money Reserve without any hesitation or reservation to anyone. I would not use anyone else, honestly.
Founded at the turn of the 21st century, U.S. Money Reserve has over $1.6 billion in trusted transactions and is one of the nation's largest precious metals distributors. We're proud to have served more than 550,000 individual clients, providing them with more than 3 million physical bars, bullion, or coins, all securely shipped directly from our main vault facility.
You need a whole basket full of different ways of preserving wealth. So gold and silver is a way of doing that. So I went back on the gold standard.
Of all my years involvement with buying gold, it's only gotten better in my faith in the company, the U.S. Money Reserve.
I knew it turned.
That's the company I do business with, and I don't see doing business with anyone else.
Doing it by yourself's a little bit of a pain.
To learn more about why physical gold should be an important part of your portfolio, pick up the phone and call to receive the complete guide to buying gold, which will provide you important, never seen before facts and information you should know about making gold, silver, and platinum purchases.
With nearly 2 decades of business, over $1 billion in transactions,
Oh, it
and
has.
more than 500,000 clients worldwide, U.S. Money Reserve is one of the most dependable gold distributors in America.
You don't have hair loss. The Keratin hair regrowth treatment contains the only FDA-approved ingredient clinically proven to help women regrow hair. Regrow thicker, fuller